I truly believe that interior spaces affect people that will really improve your brain function and your mental state and your physical health as well.
You hang it on the
You're
wall?
hanging on the wall is an art object, so nobody
Wow.
even notices that. So that gives you the space beauty, organization, and also air purification.
Wow.
One partner needs a little bit warmer and one partner needs a little bit
Yeah, how do you
cooler.
deal with that situation?
There are certain products.
Change the partner.
No, I become much more productive when I'm in my space, and I can really feel the difference if I don't work in my office. So you can become successful person if you set up the interior space.
Hello, I am Gulnara Omar and welcome to my weekly podcast. Please join me and my guests as we dive into wellness, empowerment psychology, health, beauty, and helpful tips on how to create positive change with greater energy and courage. So, let's get inspired to live healthier, more empowered, and fulfilling lives.
Hello, dear friends, and welcome to my podcast. Today, my guest is my friend, my student, and also my holistic wellness space design consultant. Her name is Eugenia. And Eugenia, I am so grateful you're here today because I know how passionate you are about designing holistic spaces. And when I say holistic, I mean you really take into consideration everything. And Eugenia's gift is that she can design your space that will positively impact your quality of sleep, your romantic relationships, your focus, your productivity. All of that, Eugenia is expert in. And I'll let you talk more about your passion. And I want to ask you about your start and how you knew your passion. And also today, I want to share with our followers my perspective on wellness, but also your specific perspective on why it is so important to have good air, for example, or certain colors, and how they affect our brain. Not many designers talk about cognitive side, and you do, and that's why I love so much working with you. And you have personalized assessment for people. So how about you just tell us, first of all, about mental health and designing spaces holistically and how it helped your clients and how it helped you.
Thank you so much, Gulnara, for such a warm introduction and for having me today. I truly believe that interior spaces affect people. It is true. I have been interested in interior space psychology, health, and wellness, and how these spaces affect people who are using those spaces. I've been doing so much research, and now I love teaching. I love telling about that. I love educating junior interior designers, beginner interior designers.
Yes, I forgot to say that you do teach in the college, right? So you transfer your passion to...
Because I really want this information to spread. I really want people to know how they can design and organize space so that it improves their mental health. It improves their physical health. And there are so many ways that people can do simple steps. And those simple steps will immensely improve their life.
You did mention earlier about the quality of light, and many people talk about light, but I don't think they really understand the connection between light and our hormones and physiology. And when you talked to me about that, I was like, wow, I wish more wellness space advisors would give people that depth of knowledge so we can have different perspective and believe and take actions about it. So can you tell us more about hormones and lighting and how you suggest your clients to fix these things?
Sure, a lot of people underestimate light because we take it for granted, but we are natural beings and we connected to light. We are connected to the light cycles. So there is a term it's called circadian lighting. That means that people's nature is to feel what's going on outside. So the sun, the light, gives us the clues. It gives the clues to our bodies, and our hormones tune in to those clues. So those clues are sunrise and sunset. So when we wake up, our body tunes into the lighting that surrounds us. And naturally, it's supposed to be sunlight, like the sunrise. And the way it works is that when we are exposed to sunrise or the morning sunlight, our body releases hormones for us to wake up, to get motivated, to be more productive, and the energy rises. When it's closer, during the midday, we are at our highest level of energy.
Is it like a noon?
Yeah,
Lunchtime?
so around the noon, from noon, we have the biological clock that guides our body to be productive, for example.
To function at the
To
highest, at the
function
peak.
At the peak level, yes. And then towards the end of the day, our body senses that it's going towards the sunset. So our biological clock adapts to that. We're sensing the light outside, which is slightly dimmer, it's softer, it's warmer. The sunset light is warm and it's soft. So it gives our body the clue that we need to settle down, we need to start relaxing, and the hormones that help us fall asleep and relax will produce, and then we gently go to a relaxation state and mode. But if the artificial lighting inside of the space is not tuned into that, it's not adjusted properly or not selected properly,
What happens?
Then it will disturb our biological cycle, and our body will be confused. We don't know whether it's morning or whether it's evening. Do we need to be productive or do we need to be relaxed? And it gets us confused. So
it messes up our hormones, probably.
It messes up the hormones, and our natural cycles of wakefulness and sleep, they become disrupted. So the body doesn't know what to do. And of course, that affects our energy levels, our productivity, our cognitive function.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I had a client, and his mom asked me to come and check the situation. He was 15 years old, a teenager, and he used to play games all the time. He was depressed. And I asked to look at his room, and the curtains were so thick, everything was closed down, the room was dark, the smell was horrible. And she said that he suffers from depression, but he doesn't want to open the curtains. So I asked her what she suggested to do, and she says, no, he doesn't allow me to touch his room. So as a counselor, I suggested that you are an authority figure, you're a mom, he's 15, you still need to take charge because he lives in your house, and this is part of your house. So she did help him by cleaning the room. She helped him, but he of course resisted. Later on he got better, but we had to have this intervention. But what really happens with someone who doesn't see the light at all? What happened in his case? Why was he so depressed? I'm sure, depression has genetic predispositions and other factors, but from the space and lighting point of view, what would you say here?
So this is exactly what happens. If the person is not exposed to natural light, their hormone cycles are disrupted. So when we are exposed to natural light, it boosts our hormone serotonin. If we are lacking natural light, and I mean the big window, the open blinds, being exposed to morning light and daylight, then our body gets confused. So the light that is produced by the screen, by the computer monitor, by our cell phones, our TVs, is mimicking the noon light. So it's a cool lighting.
Like a blue, not yellowish.
It's a blue light. Yeah, it's a cool light. It's not a warm light. Basically, what happens is that It produces that stress hormone to be productive, to be always alert, and the person's brain cannot relax. And then it goes, you know a lot about that, it goes into a state when it's constantly under stress, and then it disrupts the sleeping patterns, the stress levels, the concentration levels, and I guess our feeling of happiness and our mood, it affects completely.
Yeah, as you said, serotonin is a hormone of happiness. And if your brain stops producing it, your brain thinks something is wrong. There's danger, there's threat. So you don't want to be active. You're just sitting and hiding, and you don't have energy, right?
And it was very good advice that you gave, you like little by his mom, to open up the blinds, the drapes,
Clean
to
the room.
clean the room, to get the light through.
Fresh
This
air.
is the therapy. Because in wellness interior design, we have a light therapy. There are certain professionals who can help people select the proper technology, the proper lighting that could be installed in the house, in the bathroom, in the bedroom. And people get really good success stories getting cured for that depression and anxiety. And these small little steps, day by day, they really influence the health
even though
and the mental state.
This boy wouldn't know what's going on, but it indirectly affects his brain.
And
That's
helps him
amazing.
get out of the situation.
I had no idea that you can actually install something that would have this healing impact. That's great.
Yeah, there is certain lighting that is designed to treat the seasonal affective disorder that people struggle with, where if they live in an area where there is long winter season, there is lack of daylighting or lack of getting outside and not being exposed to natural light. So when I design spaces for my clients, I always recommend designing it that way, so there is an opportunity for daylighting, for natural light, big windows, especially in the living zones, in the living areas. And I always recommend to design a bedroom a certain way so that there are lighting cues, specific lighting cues, so the person can relax and go into that state to fall asleep easily and to go into very deep sleep.
Interesting. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing. I don't think people pay attention to these things consciously unless they really have a big problem. People start paying attention to their life or certain issues when they feel pain. And I want to talk about painful points when you help design spaces, and let's say there are couples, and you mentioned your personal story about you and your husband and a piece that your husband really valued. So there are certain points that families experience when they design certain things. There are conflicts, there are likes and dislikes. And how do you navigate around that? How can you make every family member happy and yet they live in the same space without conflict? To me, it is so difficult because this is your space. You come there and something can irritate you all the time, right?
So everything affects us in interior space. The colors, the light, the air quality, the space planning, and how our furniture is located in the room, because some setups could kind of motivate people to communicate with each other, but some layouts, they are helping people more to concentrate and to focus on their tasks. So there's also considerations like that. But I would say that the biggest pain point that my clients have is organization of home. Having the proper amount of storage, that everything in the house has its own place so people can organize and clean and tidy their home easily. I really like the method of Marie Kondo, and what she says in her book is that you will never have to clean your house if everything in your house has its own place. You take that thing from that place and you put it back, and then you never have to reorganize or declutter or clean it. It always is going to look perfect like a show home. And some people need that, so that everything is in order, everything is predictable. that affects our mind as well. If we have a chaotic space, if it's disorganized, if it's cluttered, if there are too many things, our brain cannot process that visual information, and it struggles with overwhelm of information. That's why a lot of people like minimalistic design, or we call it Zen. It's a Japanese inspired design. And the success of this design style is that they try to fill the space with emptiness, not with the things. And in this North American culture, what happens is we have that tendency to buy things, to put things where
To fill up
something
every
is,
space with
to
knickknacks.
fill, yes,
We call it dust collectors, right?
Exactly. But if the space is supposed to be calm, we have to eliminate distractions, and decor could be a problem. So I would recommend just leaving the pieces that are bigger in size, that are meaningful to you, that reflects your personality, that has some kind of meaning. Another point is that my clients often have this question for me: how do you personalize the space and select the decor that is meaningful if we have many people living in the house or in the space?
Can you share the story, the personal story you talked about your husband? It was really interesting how you changed perspective and it stopped irritating you. I think our listeners would appreciate that story.
So I have a personal story. I was reading the Marie Kondo method that I really love to use. And in this method, what you have to do is you have to ask yourself, do I love this thing in my house? Do I love this picture? Do I love this art
Does it
object?
bring you joy?
Does it bring
right?
you joy?
Yeah,
Do you want
yeah.
to keep it? And I was going through my house to declutter it and to reorganize and just to keep the things that I love. My husband has this artwork in his room, and I was walking by it and like, why do you like that?
And you said it's huge, right?
It's big. It's a huge painting that's on his wall in the office, and it doesn't really bring me joy. It's dark colors, and it's not something that I would pick. But I was trying to get rid of this artwork. But when I spoke to my husband, like, why do you keep it? Why do you like it? He shared a personal story that this artwork reminds him of his childhood, that this art piece, the parents gave it to him, and that is meaningful to him. And so when we've had this conversation with my husband, I changed my perception of this artwork, and now I just ignore it. It doesn't bother me at all. He has it in his office, and every time I go by it and I smile, okay, that brings him joy. That's okay. I let it be in my home space.
It's no longer irritate you like before,
It doesn't
right?
irritate me at all. And what I did is I went to a store and I got some meaningful pieces of art for myself, and I decorated my space, my working office, my studio, that bring me joy. And this way everybody's happy.
I really love how you mentioned visual energy. What did you say? Did you say that our brain pays attention to visual objects and analyzes everything all the time?
All the time. So that was a really good point, Gulnara, that the atmosphere, the space really affects our brain and our feeling of safety, our ability to relax. And I know that it's in the feng shui studies that the way you position your bed.
Excuse me, what's the feng shui for people who don't understand?
Feng shui is an ancient Chinese studies of interior design, of architecture, how to build things.
According to the energy levels.
It's according to the psychology and energy. And there are certain just common sense things that I use. For example, if you would like to have a good productive day, you have to position your working desk in a way that you can see the entrance, that your back is not facing people walking behind, because this is not safe. Your brain perceives that as danger, as a threat. So you will never be able to be productive, completely concentrated or relaxed. And the same thing is for the bed. Your bed has to be positioned in the way, it's called like an Italian mafia position. When Italian mafia walks into the restaurant, they get the table that is in the very far corner to see the entrance, to see the
Ah,
thread, the
Italian
potential
mafia
thread.
position.
Yes,
Interesting.
and that's how you should locate those seating spaces or seating furniture where you sit for a long time.
So you need to face entrances
Yes.
and make sure that if you have people, like if it's a cubicle, for example, they shouldn't be walking behind you.
Exactly. So avoid sitting where something is moving in the back, because you will constantly be aware and you will not be able to concentrate or relax.
That's an interesting point. It makes sense, right?
Yeah, and when we design spaces for conversation, the best way is to have like a rounded table, a rounded furniture, some kind of a furniture position that people can face each other and comfortably communicate, just like we have here. And that helps people, again, to open up, to relax, to have a good conversation. There shouldn't be distractions in the back. And that's how our brain works, and that's how we perceive this space, that's how we feel good in this space. And sometimes we don't realize that.
Because it's very subconscious.
Exactly. People don't know. They come to a space and they say, "Oh, I love it," or "I hate it," and sometimes they cannot really tell why they love this space or why they feel good and calm and relaxed. And sometimes, again, you come into a space, it's beautifully designed and everything is proper, but for some reason
Something is off.
something is off, and you don't feel that that's your space. That you can feel it. You can feel the energy of the space. And going back to that conversation with the personal things and personal touches and organization of the space, and going back to the Marie Kondo method, when your space reflects your mental state. If you have clutter, disorganization, if you don't put love in everything you choose and select, this plant, this chair, this color, this table, it kind of all the things that you have in your space, they reflect you back. They're like a mirror of your personality. And that's why it's important to take good care of the things, to select something that through your feelings, they have to remind you of positive things, and these things that are in your interior space will reflect that energy back to you. So that's really important.
So, Eugenia, we spoke about our brain, the cognitive reaction of our brain, and how we see and feel the energy of objects. We talked about lighting and how it affects our sleep and mood and happiness. Can you talk a little bit about air? Because I don't think, because when we spoke about it earlier and you gave me some points, I realized that I don't think enough about the quality of air that I breathe in on a regular basis, right? We take it for granted. We think, oh, air, oxygen, it's there.
Well, exactly. This is one of those invisible things, again, that we don't realize that the quality of air really affects our cognitive function, our ability to relax, to concentrate, to sleep. Again, because the body, it just automatically takes the air in and breathes it out. But the quality of it, we breathe through so many tons of air every day. And in some buildings and in some spaces, we cannot really control the quality of air. So it's really important that it brings us enough oxygen. There is also such thing as positive and negative ions. So when the air goes through a conditioner, when the air goes through the furnace to heat or to cool the air, it loses that good balance of the positive and negative ions, which affects the quality of air.
So how can we restore or balance it? Do we have any control?
So I do recommend, if you don't have the ability to control, to purify your air through the central ventilation system, like some people live in the apartment. The easiest way, of course, is to just open up the windows. If you have good weather, if you have good quality of the air outside, the simple thing is just to open up the windows and create good natural ventilation. But if you don't have access to that, you can purchase a good quality air purifier that brings back that oxygen, that filters the air, that removes all the pathogens, the particles of dust, that will really improve your brain function and your mental state and your physical health as well.
Wow. Yeah, and it's interesting you said that. if you can't open windows and have fresh air, because I used to live in the United Arab Emirates, and I have my amazing clients living in this country, which is like a miracle in the middle of the desert. They built this city, the several cities, the whole country, 7 emirates, and you can bring everything. They bring Rome and France in terms of cuisines and design, but you can't bring air, and the heat there is absolutely unbearable sometimes. And I love to be outside. In the middle of summer, it could be plus 55, plus 60. How do you open windows? You can't. And yes, they do have centralized ACs, and they're very strong, but also because they work so much and all day round, all year round, probably the furnace or the filters are not so perfect. So how do you deal with that? How do you, because I know you have clients all over the world, and you consult them over Zoom, and so what do you say, and what are your recommendations, if you can give us a little bit of your secrets?
Some people don't like the look of those air purifiers and humidifiers, but there are some really nice ones. Something I would recommend.
Because you design, I know, some of them,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I'm working, so it's in the development stage. I'm working on a product that looks beautiful. So it looks like wall art. It could be also personalized, some message, some affirmation that will give you good and positive mood. And then at the same time, it would purify the air, it would clean the air, it would ionize the air and humidify the air.
And you hang it on the
You're
wall?
hanging on the wall as an art object, so nobody
Wow.
even notices that. So that gives you the space, beauty, organization, and also air purification.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love your creativity. If you want to find Eugenia's work, you can direct message Eugenia, and I will leave a link down below to Eugenia's social media platforms. And I'm sure you'll take care of my followers and my clients.
I would be happy to.
Excellent. Also, we talked about sleep, and you also advised people what kind of temperature to use during sleep, even though it's not part of the design. But you mentioned something that you can actually organize bedroom in a way that will be so conducive to quality deep sleep, right?
Yes, I do offer this package. It's called the Beauty Sleep Bedroom Package. And because I'm a holistic interior designer, I approach every project holistically. Basically, we would look at all the things that affect our physical health and mental health in the bedroom. Those things would be the colors. So I would use color psychology. So those would be calming colors that suit the personality of the person or people who are occupying this bedroom. That would be the air quality, the proper temperature control, because also the temperature and the thermal comfort is really important. As important as air quality and lighting and colors, thermal comfort affects our sleep. So in order for us to fall asleep, that's we're going back to our physical bodies, we need, our body naturally decreases the temperature to fall asleep and to have a very deep sleep mode. In order to wake up, the body increases the body temperature. So by setting up the bedroom a certain way, so you can automize or you can adjust the temperature, because in a lot of spaces we don't have that opportunity to adjust the temperature.
Yes.
It's hot or it's
I can't sleep when it's too
cold.
hot. I can't.
Yes, and there are sometimes situations where one partner needs it a little bit warmer and one partner needs a little bit cooler.
How do you deal with that situation?
There are certain products.
Change the partner.
No, there are mattresses that adjust the temperature of your personal part of the mattress.
Really?
So they can cool you down or they warm you up.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh.
And
we can
also,
avoid so many divorces.
Exactly. And those smart mattresses could be saving people's lives and health and relationships. And we all know that if you sleep well, and your mood is better, you're much more productive, and it influences your immune system
and your hormones and
your hormones, the immune system,
energy
everything.
Level. I know.
So you can become successful person if you set up the interior space properly, according to your biological cycles, according to your health personality, according to your life goals, beliefs, values, everything. So I
I
truly
so
believe
agree.
in this.
Yeah, and thank you. By the way, my dear friends, Eugenia, she conducted a personalized assessment for my wellness space, interior design, and it was so accurate. What did you say that I'm very empathetic and helping people is in so many areas of my assessment results, right?
Yeah, I was happy to inform you that what you do is good. Do what you do. You're helping so
Yes,
many
someone I'm on the
people.
right track.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you're also a creative person. You can express yourself through creativity and you can relax through that creative process. So if I were to design your space, I would implement those things that remind you of your creative side, the things that motivate you, the things that
Yeah.
remind you of your successes. So again, affirmations,
Yeah.
art, decor objects, natural objects, plants. This will be all suitable for your space, and we can see you're already doing those things.
Yeah.
The colors that will inspire you would be those very happy, bright, vibrant colors that will
That's my
again
yellow couch, as you can
exactly
as you can see.
yes, and your attention to detail that you show through your professional work would also be reflected in your interior space. So when
Interesting.
you're selecting furniture, look for something when there is like an intriguing detail or a beautiful texture, beautiful pattern. Choose things that are natural, not like so much artificial, or things that are artisan things that you can see that when the person
Okay.
was making that piece, they put a lot of good positive energy and hard work into that so you can enjoy it later.
One of your secrets of success, in my opinion, as far as I know you, is that you're very curious and you're resourceful and you like to read, you like to explore, and you always find something new. You're insatiable when it comes to information. But another secret that you have, the secret of your success, is that you apply it. And one of the things you shared recently was about your office, and you called it your place of power.
It's
Right.
true. It's true. I really love my office, my creative space. It inspires me to work, to be creative, to paint, and it gives me a lot of power just to be there. And it's only after many years I have realized what I really like, what I want, what gives me that power. And I have set it up just for myself. This is a nice, open, spacious room. It has light colors. It has a lot of art in it. It has some objects. When I travel, I bring in objects, and every
Pieces of
time
memory.
it brings me good memories. And sometimes creative people have these moments when you sit and like, I don't know how to start. I don't know
Where do I draw my inspiration from, right?
exactly. You start from an empty canvas, and then I have a lot of plants in my space as well, natural objects. I have very good lighting. And all of a sudden, some things come to my mind. I draw inspiration from my travels, from natural objects, from my plants. And
You saw the difference. The moment you build that place of power, you saw the difference in your inspiration.
I become much more productive when I'm in my space, and like I really feel the difference if I don't work in my office. If I have to work from a hotel or another space, I can totally feel that it's not my place of power, and then I try to set it up my way. But my studio, it's really gives me the power and the creativity because I know that it's reflection of me.
Excellent. So for people who are watching you right now, and not everyone can afford the service of, I shouldn't say expensive, because we deserve the services, because even if we pay for something, it will reflect upon the quality of our lives. And I'm sure that if people can afford you, they would definitely inquire and ask about your services. But there are people who can't afford it right now, and they have limited budget. What would you suggest to people like that? what should they start with if they want to build that place of power and create something?
Definitely, I would start with clearing the space, decluttering, organizing, getting rid of the things that don't bring you joy. And when you start from this clean canvas, you can have some ideas now how you can fill that space with positive energy, with things that you love, things that remind you of something. That could even be a drawing of your child. That could be something that you can draw and paint and be creative and express
Or
yourself.
create something like a craft.
Exactly. Important thing is you have to be in a good mood to do that. You have to
Because it will
put
carry
good
that
energy.
state.
Yes, put that positive energy into that piece, into that object.
I see.
And this is the first step. There is a lot of information available on my Instagram that I share to people, some things, some tips and tricks on how to
We will leave the
make-
link below, how to reach Eugenia.
Yes. And there was something else I was going to share.
You did say to clear the space, to start with a clean canvas, to get into the creative space when you create something, because it's not about the price or the level of luxury, it's the energy you put into something, the amount of love.
I'm a big believer in visualization. So people can start creating their dream of beautiful space by assembling a visual board. You can do it using digital images on my desktop, for example. I have photographs of all the things that I want to bring to my life. And you can do it physical if you like, just cutting out from magazines as well. Beautiful things that you want to surround yourself with, and some dreams that you want to attract into your life that also could become a decoration for your space. You can get
and a reminder,
money tree,
and inspiration. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So all these things that you will organize and you will bring into your space might start manifesting into your life.
Yes.
And I would also recommend working with you, Gulnara, to manifest this budget, this money for your new interior design, for your renovation, for updating your living space, for buying beautiful things and surrounding you with what you love.
Yeah, and you're right. In many cases, we do not attract and do not manifest things because we simply do not allow this to happen. And I remember after first hypnosis when you texted me, and after you read my book in 2 days or 2 nights, and you're a good student. You believed in that and you invest in yourself. Good students, and I still invest in myself. I learn from the best. I learn from other people because we can't know everything and anything, right?
Yeah, that's very true.
And you did say that sometimes you can hear my voice.
Yes, exactly. When I have this moment in my life, like I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, or I have doubts in myself, or whether I can achieve this or that, the Gulnara's voice comes up in my brain. Eugenia, you can do it. Eugenia, you have all the powers, you have all the abilities to do that. And
well, I'm glad that I can be that voice.
I see you in my dreams, telling me what to do.
As long as I'm not like a monster.
You have this talent, you have this ability to appear in my mind and give me this power. You're empowering.
I'm your place of power too, in your head.
Yes, I have to put a picture of you in my studio, in my office.
Well, thank you. We'll take a good picture when we're having fun, because we need to put energy. And then, or when we go to celebrate your next big project.
Yes, that would
with
be
the
nice.
hotel that is going to hire you to create a holistic wellness project, right?
Yes, that is my dream. I would love to work on a big project, huge project that will bring a lot of good wellness and health to many, many people, that will make them happier, that will make them stronger, powerful, to manifest all their dreams into their lives.
Well, that's amazing, because when you speak it out and when you believe it, it means there is space and time and possibility for this dream to come true. Otherwise, we would never have this in our mind. The person who wants to fly to the space would never think about becoming a nurse, for example. So we do get these ideas. It means that it's possible because we have so many variations of reality that we can create. And just the fact that you thought about it means that there is a great possibility. And now you just need to hear your voice or my voice or any good voice or positive voice and just act upon it. And that's what we wish our followers, our friends, that no matter what we give you today, and Eugenia was so generous with her information and her wisdom and her personal stories, it doesn't matter how much we will share unless you implement it in your life. So be brave, be courageous, and take whatever you learn today, even if it's just one tip that you thought, you know what, I knew about it, but I forgot about it.
If you have any questions, ask me, send me a message on Instagram or on my website. I would be happy to help someone, to answer somebody's question, and to make a difference in your life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And remember that when you get better, your life gets better. And one of the ways to make your life better is to create an inspiring, balanced, and harmonized space. Take good care, and until next episode in my podcast. See you soon.